There are monsters in our past, real ones, not the kind that belong in fairy tales or horror stories, but creatures so terrifying, so perfectly designed for killing, that they linger in the fossil record like shadows frozen in stone. This is the story of one such monster. Imagine, for a moment, a river cutting through an ancient landscape. The air is thick and heavy, filled with the scent of vegetation and decay. Somewhere in the murky shallows, something waits. Something patient. Something that has spent millions of years perfecting the art of the ambush. Now imagine a dinosaur, a creature weighing several tons, armored in scales, built like a tank, walking cautiously to the water's edge for a drink. It's careful. It's wary. Evolution has taught it to fear what might be lurking below the surface. But thirst is powerful. It lowers its massive head, takes a sip, and in an instant, it's gone, dragged beneath the surface by jaws powerful enough to crush bone like breadsticks. By teeth designed not just to pierce, but to grip, to hold, and never let go. By a predator that makes today's crocodiles look almost harmless. This isn't fiction. It happened, over and over again, for millions of years, in the rivers and swamps of prehistoric North America. Welcome to the world of Deinosuchus, the terror crocodile, the dinosaur eater, the largest predator ever to hunt the waterways of the Cretaceous period. This is its story. 75 million years ago, the Earth looked nothing like it does today. North America was split down the middle by a vast inland sea, the Western Interior Seaway, stretching from the Arctic Ocean all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Imagine a body of water so enormous, it turned one continent into two islands, each teeming with life that has no equal in our modern world. The climate was warm. There was no ice at the poles. Lush forests grew where glaciers would one day stand. Rivers carved through vast, steaming swamps filled with towering conifers and the first flowering plants. The air was thick with humidity and rich in oxygen, almost intoxicating. And in this greenhouse world, giants walked. The late Cretaceous was an age of titans, the last great age of the dinosaurs before their sudden extinction. In the east, where the Appalachian forest grew thick and green, herds of massive hadrosaurs, the duck-billed dinosaurs, moved through the undergrowth like prehistoric cattle. Some stretched over 40 feet long, covered in complex skin patterns that might have been brightly colored or patterned for camouflage. We can only guess. Predators followed them. Early tyrannosaurs, smaller than their famous cousin T. Rex, but no less dangerous. Dryptosaurus, with curved claws and a powerful bite. Apalachiosaurus, built for speed and stealth. These were the apex predators of the forest. But they weren't the only hunters. Because in every ecosystem, there's an edge, the place where two worlds meet, where land touches water. And throughout time, those edges have always been dangerous. The rivers and estuaries of the Cretaceous were no exception. They were, in fact, far more dangerous than any waterway on Earth today. Because beneath those calm surfaces, in the dark, slow-moving water, something waited. Something that could kill even the largest dinosaurs. The water seemed peaceful, wide rivers winding through the plains, deltas where freshwater met salt. Fish swarmed in schools. Turtles the size of car tires basked on fallen logs. Smaller crocodilians hunted fish and amphibians. But in the deeper channels, where the sediment made the water black and still, the real danger lurked. A predator that exploited one of the few weaknesses of dinosaurs, their need to drink. Every living thing needs water. Even the most powerful animals must approach the river's edge eventually. And when they did, they entered someone else's world. The hunting grounds of Deinosuchus. The name means terrible crocodile. And that's putting it lightly. Because this wasn't just terrible, it was monumental. An ambush predator so large, so powerful, so perfectly adapted, that it could kill prey far bigger than itself. It was a crocodilian, yes, but scaled up to monstrous proportions. A design perfected over eons, enlarged for one brief reign of terror that would never be repeated. The world of the dinosaurs was filled with giants. But in the water, there was one giant that ruled them all. Let's talk about size. Real size. The kind that's hard to truly grasp until you stand next to it. The largest crocodile alive today is the saltwater crocodile. A big male might reach 20 feet long, maybe a little more, and weigh close to a ton. They're apex predators capable of taking down sharks, water buffalo, even unwary humans. Now forget that, because Deinosuchus made saltwater crocodiles look small. Conservative estimates put it at 35 feet long. Some may have reached 40. We're talking 8 to 10,000 pounds of pure muscle and armor. Just the skull, 6 feet long. A head as big as a human being is tall. Jaws that could open wide enough to swallow a person whole, then snap shut with a bite force measured in tons per square inch. But Deinosuchus didn't evolve to hunt humans. We wouldn't exist for another 75 million years. It evolved to hunt dinosaurs. Crocodilians are ancient, older than the dinosaurs themselves. Their ancestors appeared before the first true dinosaurs ever walked the earth. They've survived multiple mass extinctions. They've outlived almost every other large reptile lineage. Why? Because their design works. Low-slung bodies perfect for stealth. Eyes and nostrils high on the skull, letting them lurk almost invisible just below the surface. Armor-plated backs, powered tails, and jaws that combine precision with raw force. The same design has persisted for over 200 million years. And during the Cretaceous, that design scaled up into something monstrous. We don't know exactly why Deinosuchus became so large. Evolution isn't about goals, it's about opportunity. In the Cretaceous, the opportunity was everywhere. Large prey, warm water, plenty of space, and few rivals in the waterways. A crocodilian that could take down a full-grown dinosaur had a niche all its own. Dinosaurs ruled the land, but in the water, they were vulnerable. They couldn't swim well. They couldn't maneuver. And when one stepped too close to the river's edge, it entered a world where power meant nothing. Deinosuchus was built to exploit that moment. Its fossils have been found across what's now the southeastern United States, from Texas to North Carolina. Everywhere the ancient seaway created rivers and deltas, Deinosuchus thrived. It lived in freshwater, saltwater, and everything in between. It was adaptable, widespread, and terrifyingly efficient. And above all, it was patient. The kind of predator that didn't chase. It waited. And when the time came, it struck with devastating force. Let's imagine a hunt. Late afternoon. A wide river winds through a Cretaceous forest. The water's surface is calm, brown with tannins, broken only by the occasional ripple of a fish. On the bank, a herd of Cretaceous, duck-billed hadrosaurs, approaches to drink. They're nervous. Always nervous. The elders stand guard, scanning the river. The young move closer to the edge. They've learned to fear the water. Something inside them knows that danger hides beneath the surface. Upstream, two small ridges, eyes and nostrils, break the surface. Deinosuchus. It's been waiting. Hours, maybe days. Crocodilians can go that long without moving. Their slow metabolism conserving energy until the perfect moment. Now, that moment comes. The eyes sink below the surface. Silence. Then, unseen, the massive predator begins to move. Underwater, it glides like a submarine. Powerful tail sweeping side to side. Every motion deliberate. Every sense focused on the herd. It picks a target. A juvenile, standing just deep enough in the shallows. And then, without warning, the river explodes. Deinosuchus erupts from the water in a surge of foam and violence. Its jaws slam shut around the hadrosaur's neck. The sound, if you could hear it, would be a deep, wet crack. Bone shattering under a bite force that might exceed 20,000 pounds per square inch. The dinosaur thrashes, screaming, trying to pull free. But it's hopeless. Because Deinosuchus doesn't just bite, it rolls. The death roll, a move shared by its modern descendants. A full-body spin, using the predator's weight and momentum to tear, crush, and drag its prey under. The water turns red. The struggle ends quickly. The rest of the herd scatters into the trees, leaving only ripples and silence behind. Deinosuchus drags its kill deeper into the river channel. It will wedge the carcass beneath a log or in a root tangle, letting it soften for days before feeding. No waste. No effort beyond what's needed. Just patience and precision. This was how Deinosuchus killed. Not with speed or packs or strategy, but with stillness and sudden, unstoppable power. Stories are easy to tell, but in paleontology, stories mean nothing without evidence. And the evidence for Deinosuchus is compelling. The first fossils appeared in the 1850s, massive teeth and fragments of bone found in North Carolina. Too big for any known crocodile. Too dense for a dinosaur. For decades, scientists debated what they belonged to. It wasn't until the early 20th century that the picture became clear. These were the remains of a truly gigantic crocodilian. Complete skeletons are rare. Crocodiles don't fossilize easily. Their bodies fall apart quickly after death. But the fragments we have tell a clear story. Skull fragments, thick and scarred, suggest a head over 6 feet long. Teeth, conical and blunt, show where marks consistent with biting through bone. Osteoderms, the armor plates, as big as dinner plates, overlapping to form near impenetrable protection. Even without a full skeleton, the size and shape of the pieces leave no doubt. This was a crocodilian unlike any other. And then, there are the bite marks. Across the southeastern United States, paleontologists have found dinosaur bones with deep, circular punctures. Too wide for a theropod, too crushing to be anything else. In New Jersey, a hadrosaur tailbone bears a series of massive gouges, consistent with a Deinosuchus bite. The spacing matches its teeth perfectly. It's direct evidence that these animals didn't just coexist, they interacted. Fatally, we can even trace ecological patterns. The largest Deinosuchus fossils appear in regions that also hosted the largest herbivores. Predator and prey, scaling together through evolution. Smaller specimens show different behavior, feeding on turtles, smaller crocs, and fish. Adaptable, opportunistic, efficient. For millions of years, Deinosuchus thrived. Until, slowly, the world changed. The great inland sea began to recede. The coastline shifted. Rivers dried, habitats vanished. And just like that, the reign of the terror crocodile ended. Not with extinction by violence, but with the quiet, inevitable shift of the earth itself. Deinosuchus has been gone for 72 million years. Its world is gone too. The rivers, the dinosaurs, the endless summer of the Cretaceous. But in a deeper sense, it still lives on. Its legacy isn't in direct descendants. Today's crocodiles and alligators are distant cousins, not children. Its legacy is in the design. Because Deinosuchus proved something profound, that the crocodilian blueprint is one of nature's most perfect predatory designs. It worked then. It works now. An ambush hunter that can grow with its environment. Small in small worlds. Enormous in great ones. Crocodilians are scalable predators, evolution's most flexible design. Today's saltwater crocodiles, 20 feet long and feared across the Indo-Pacific, are living echoes of that ancient terror. Smaller, yes, but cut from the same pattern. Deinosuchus reminds us that ecosystems shape life. Dinosaurs dominated the land, but in the water, they were guests. Guests in a realm ruled by crocodilians. Its presence influenced everything around it. Herbivores evolved caution near the water. Predators learned to avoid river crossings. Even the landscape of behavior was shaped by fear. Apex predators don't just kill, they create entire worlds of response. And for millions of years, the waterways of North America belonged to Deinosuchus. When it finally vanished, it wasn't defeated. The world simply changed. The seas receded. The rivers moved on. And the monster of the river faded into time. But its fossils remain. The teeth, the bones, the marks left in stone. Each one a whisper from a time when monsters were real. Deinosuchus is proof that the world has been home to creatures far more extraordinary than we can easily imagine. Predators that dwarfed anything alive today. Masters of their domains. For millions of years, it was the shadow beneath the water. The fear at the river's edge. The crocodile that hunted dinosaurs. And though its body is gone, its story, carved in stone, endures. History isn't just a record of what happened. It's the story of everything that ever was. And every fossil, every ruin, every forgotten legend brings us one step closer to understanding the world that shaped us. This was Story of Ages, where the past lives again. Subscribe to join us on the next journey through time.